In this video, we're going to discuss TES Teach with BlendSpace, which is one of the tools that really supports many different phases of the sources framework. But in this case, we're going to look at it as a tool for reading between the lines and corroborating and refuting, and primarily really a great tool for scaffolding source sets with learners. Now, TES Teach with BlendSpace is a browser-based curation tool that allows for educators to either provide a collection of resources for learners to interact with, or provide prompts and situations in which learners can create and organize their own content and make sense to help them make sense of whatever they are exploring. So it's a pretty basic interface when you get here. You have your dashboard, which is what we are, and here are our recent lessons that we've created. Now, a lesson is really a collection of resources in this case, and can be organized however you want, and prompts provided, etc. But from a student perspective, it can just be a collection of different resources put in some particular order, annotated in some different way, curated in some way to make sense and help them make sense of whatever the pedagogical goals or objectives might be. From a teacher perspective, you can set it organized by your classes. You can create new classes based on grade levels, etc. They have a number of featured lessons, as many of the tools we talk about in this book have. And then they have a collection of, well, these are your lessons, your classes. And then there's a nice lessons library where you can search for lessons. And really, this is a great way to get ideas for different lessons. Now, when we go into we'll look at the Battle of Antietam one here. This is one I've just kind of put together and real quickly. You can include these, it's sort of like a Pinterest board where you can create a variety collection of resources. You can add rows. And so in this case, I have a YouTube video on the Battle of Antietam, an image, some casualties, the Battle of Upperville, Antietam Cornfield, what was in Lincoln's pockets, that really doesn't belong here, so I could delete that very easily if I wanted. I could find resources from Google Images, Flickr, just the web, searching your TES resources from your Google Drive, from Dropbox, and then you can upload media as well, and then YouTube, as I mentioned earlier. So all I would have to do is simply search YouTube. Let's just say I wanted to do Antietam. Let's just get something a little more general. Oh, something's going on. Okay. But I could simply, once a collection of YouTube videos popped up, then I could just add those to the particular resource. I can add text under any resources. So let's just say, let me go ahead here and look at this image, and I want to add text. I can go in and add a comment. I can edit the particular, I can edit the image. Actually, I have to edit here, clicking on the edit. I can add text here. When I create a new source, I can drop the resource in here. So let's just say I go to Google image search, and I'll do Antietam here. And once these images come up, let me just pick this one here. I will simply drag it in, and then I can go in and edit and annotate as I see fit. I could add, from a teacher perspective, I could add a quiz. So I could add in quiz questions, just moving on. So if I wanted to embed assessments in there, very easy. And once I have my BlendSpace board completed, I can share it out as a learner or as a teacher. Now, what's nice here is also you can drag and drop standards, and you can modify the subject area as well, so you can provide a little bit of additional context for the tool. Now, from a learner perspective, I'll just kind of go back home to my, from a learner perspective, all I would do is just search the web for resources. Here, let's just say Lincoln. So TES has a number of resources already, but again, I can target my search for content based on the types of materials here. From a teacher perspective, the TES resources are nice because you have different types of content. So this right here is a lesson plan on Abe Lincoln. If I go to like Antietam, I'm doing something on the Battle of Antietam. Here I have an ebook, so I could preview this, see if it's something I wanted to share with my students or not, etc. So a great tool for, as we mentioned, annotating and collecting and sharing resources. Real quickly, just to share, I would just click on that share thing and I could highlight this link. If I wanted to embed it in a web page or Twitter or Google Classroom, email or QR code, I can modify the privacy, who I can share it with there. And I can also bring in some co-authors, collaborators, etc. to facilitate collaboration in the sources framework process. So this is BlendSpace, or TES Teach with BlendSpace, a great curation tool. We hope you find it useful.